What's going on, everyone? This is Gaurav and welcome to my learning channel. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process to become a data engineer. Now, this video is suitable for anyone who doesn't have any experience in the field along with someone who is already working here. Now, why do you ask? Well, because data engineering, data analysis, and data science is a very skill-driven field. It's a very niche domain which is evolving very rapidly. So anyone with the right skill set, right attitude, and right aptitude can break into this work stream without any kind of issues. However, before we dive into the details of roadmap, I would like to spend a quick minute to introduce myself and introduce you to the work stream of data engineering, data science, and data analysis. In case you already know the distinction between these work streams and would like to dive right into the roadmap, then skip to this timestamp. Alright, so a brief introduction about myself. I graduated from IIT Delhi in engineering. I have about 15 years of experience in data industry. In terms of work experience, I have worked at ICICI Prudential, which is a life insurance firm. Apart from that, I have also worked at American Express, and currently I'm leading a team of data scientists for risk division at Goldman Sachs. So these are some of my core competencies, but with that said, I always strive towards learning new stuff. So in a few months, if you see a few more items, that's probably because I've been learning about it in the last few months. Enough about myself. Now let's take a look at an example to better understand the distinction between data scientist, data engineer, and data analyst. So let's say that you're working in an acquisition and loan servicing department at a bank which specializes in a personal loan. Now, in order for you to understand whether your business is performing good or not, these are some of the key questions that you might want to get the answer for. Like say, for instance, you would like to know, are we getting the new customers? Are the existing customers making the loan payment on time? Are the customers getting the required support, and so on? Now, in order to get all of these questions answered on a periodic basis, first and foremost, you need the right data. Apart from that, you also need a mechanism so that you can extract the right information from this data. So let's divide this problem in like three main sections. So first of all, we'll get started with data collection and processing. So as a part of this work stream, first of all, we would like to manage and organize all of the information which is coming from different sources. Apart from that, we would like to build and maintain the databases and data pipeline so that the relevant information can be captured from different sources and could be gathered and stored in relevant databases. Your second work stream is data insight generation. So as a part of this work stream, you would like to generate the dashboards. You would like to find the key insights from the data that you have collected. And you would like to generate these dashboards and these relevant information over a period of time. And you would like to study to understand the pattern. Third and the last work stream is extracting the insights and building the models. So as a part of this work stream, you would like to find the key insights from the data. And apart from that, you would also like to build some of the predictive models. These models will help you understand that what is the likelihood that a person is going to default. And in case you are able to figure that part out, then you can have some of the effort so that you can reach out to the customer proactively to better understand if they're facing any kind of issues and what could be some of the mitigating actions. Now, in case you're wondering that where does data engineer or data scientist or the data analyst fit into this entire picture? Well, the first part, which is data collection and processing, is being done by data engineer. The second part, which is data insight generation, is being taken care by your data analyst. And the third and the last part is you're extracting insights and building the models. This part is taken care by your data scientist. So hopefully this would have given you a good idea about what does a data analyst or a data scientist or a data engineer do on a day-to-day basis. And depending upon this, you could also decide that which one fascinates you the most. It's really important that you pick a work stream that really fascinates you, because as the time will go on, things will get more and more complicated. So if you like doing something, then it'll be easier for you to continue working in that particular work stream over a long period of time. With that, now let's dive into the details of data engineering roadmap, and this is for beginners. So I have made an assumption that you have absolutely no experience in data engineering. With that said, if you already have an experience in data engineering, then perhaps some of it you're already aware of, and things which is missing, that based on the roadmap that I provided here, you can keep on building on top of it. So I've divided this entire presentation in two main sections. So first of all, we'll talk about what are some of the key skills required to become a data engineer. And the second part is a section where I've talked about some of the projects that you should be working on. There are two main projects that we are going to talk about. First one is your batch processing and second one is real-time processing. For your entire learning journey, you should follow the order that I'm going to share with you in the coming few slides. It's really important that you follow step-by-step process. These steps are carefully carved out in a way so as to make sure that it's easy for you to understand things as we move forward. And apart from that, I have also made sure that you get started with something which is simplest and then you keep on building on top of it. In terms of the skills, the first set of coding languages you should learn is Python and SQL. These will be used for data extraction and coding. And again, Python and SQL, both of these are like kind of a very vast field. So you should not get lost into learning pretty much everything. Try to focus on some of the topics which is more related towards data extraction, data processing, data summarization, and data visualization. So pretty much everything that has to do with the data. And try to steer clear of things which is related to web scraping or automation and some of those advanced topics which will probably come later on. But But at this point in time, that's probably not needed for you to get started in the field of data engineering. Some of the useful resources that you might consider. First one is, of course, check out my YouTube channel. So I have prepared a separate playlist for both Python and SQL. Even over there, my videos are structured in a way so that it's a step by step. So you get started with the first video. It's probably going to be the simplest one, and then on top of it, I keep on building the additional concepts, which is going to help you understand both Python and SQL. Apart from that, W3 School have a website which has a pretty good playlist for SQL. So you can definitely follow the step-by-step process over there as well. For Python, I have seen that the content on a website called Learn Python is also pretty good. So you should definitely check that out. Now, for both of these coding languages, lots and lots of practice is needed. Now, in order to do so, you should definitely check out the websites HackerRank and LeetCode. I think both of these websites, HackerRank and LeetCode, have pretty good resources when it comes to the right level of practice. Now, for data engineering field, setting up the environment plays a very important role to set up the entire process. Few of the things that you should focus on is your DBMS, data warehousing, and Linux. Now, in case you are thinking that why am I asking you to learn Linux as a part of data engineering, is because as you move along, you will see that you will have to do shell scripting. You will have to learn a little bit about virtual machines. You will also have to understand how to move data from place A to place B efficiently. So Linux comes in very handy for all of these work streams. Apart from that, you should also focus on understanding what is data lake, data mart, data fabric, and data catalog. Now, as you can see that this is a pretty vast field, so I would definitely suggest to have some structure when you're going through this learning journey. So some of the useful resources that I found out to be very structured is, first one, for DBMS, you should definitely check out the content which is there on Tutorial Point. It's a very step-by-step process. You get started from the absolute top, and then afterwards you keep on building on top of it. Now, for data warehouse and Linux, you should check out the course which is there on Udemy. You will see that as we move forward, I'll keep on referring to different courses on Udemy. I'm not getting any money from Udemy, but personally, I have done all of these courses and I have found out to be very useful. Every time I mention Udemy in the bracket, I have also mentioned the name of course, which I have found out to be very useful. But with that said, you don't really have to stick to Udemy. You should definitely check out some of the other learning channels as well. Now, once you're done with the environment related concepts, then afterwards you should move towards distributed system. This is again a very critical topic that you should have a very thorough and good understanding if you want to succeed in data engineering. Now, there are two main topics that you should learn. First one is your Spark and the second one is your Hadoop. Personally, I would say that Hadoop was pretty good 5, maybe 10 years ago. But at this point in time, Hadoop seems like a topic which is fairly outdated. So if you want to skip Hive or Pig and some of those other languages, that's totally fine. You should get started with Spark, and especially you should focus on PySpark, which is a Python implementation for Spark. Some of the topics that you should focus on, first one is your concepts of distributed systems, data processing, file handling, streaming, graphics, and machine learning. Again, you don't have to stick to just these topics, but at least these are the ones that you should pay the special attention to. In terms of the useful resources, again, I'm going to refer you to Udemy, one of the courses called Taming Big Data with Apache, Spark, and Python. I have found out this course to be very structured and useful. They start with the very basic concepts and they keep on building on top of it. However, with that said, if you don't want to refer Udemy, that's absolutely fine. You should definitely check out some of the YouTube playlists as well. There are lots and lots of YouTube content creators who have done an amazing job of creating the playlist with the step-by-step process to learn both Spark, PySpark, and apart from that, Hadoop as well. So you should definitely check those out. Once we're done with the distributed system, then we move on to cloud computing. There are three main topics. The first one is your Amazon Web Services, then you have Microsoft Azure, and then Google Cloud Platform. Just pick one and get started. Personally, I have picked Amazon Web Services, and this is where I have done some certification and courses as well. But you don't have to stick to AWS. You can definitely check out Azure and GCP as well. For me, the reasoning was that content for AWS was easily available. And apart from that, in my current and the previous organization, there was a pretty good AWS implementation. So that's why my learning experience was pretty seamless. So some of the topics to focus is getting the right certification for AWS, AWS Solution Architect, or AWS Big Data Specialty. These are some of the certification that you should definitely consider. Again, they are not easy to get, so you will have to do a lot of study. Once you have the right certification, it's definitely going to add a lot of value on your resume. So definitely consider getting some of these certifications. In terms of useful resources, given I have worked on AWS, I have felt that Udemy course, which is Ultimate AWS Certified Solution Architect, this is pretty good. So it's a step-by-step process. Again, it's going to help you get the required level of understanding for AWS. But with that said, if you want to learn more about Azure or GCP, then you should definitely take a look at some of the content that you have on Udemy as well. Apart from that, I have also seen that there are a lot of good YouTube playlists, which will make you understand AWS seamlessly. So I would suggest that pick one with a good number of views and get started. And once you're done with that, then understanding the additional details is going to be fairly easy for you. So once you're done with cloud computing, then you move on to the last section, which is some of the additional tool where you should have a fairly good understanding of. So in order to understanding the orchestration of any of the process, you should have a fairly good understanding of Apache Airflow. For compute, you should consider Snowflake. To be honest, it's fairly easy and simple to understand, so it shouldn't take a whole lot of time. I guess that's the reason why they call it a Snowflake. Once you're done with that, then you should move on towards containers and streaming. For that, you should consider learning Dockers and Kafka. Again, as I have mentioned earlier, just follow the same order as I have mentioned here. So get started with Airflow, then move towards Snowflake, then afterwards Docker, and then the last topic should be Kafka. Some of the useful resources that I have found out to be useful is again a lot of different courses on Udemy, so you should definitely check those out. Some of these are paid courses, but I feel like it's worth an investment given the amount of detail you have for each one of these topics and apart from the structure that they have followed. You can definitely learn some of these concepts on your own as well with the documentation or also from the YouTube videos. But if you follow along for the courses you have on Udemy, it definitely makes your life much easier. So especially given the number of topics that you have to consider, getting all of the structured information in one place as a part of a Udemy courses definitely helps. Once you're done with understanding all of these tools and the coding languages, then you should move towards projects. So first of all, you should understand about batch projects, as in what is a batch project, where is it needed? And one of the very good example that I have seen is on this particular web link. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put the web link in the details section. So definitely check that out. It's a very simple yet very step-by-step process being followed by this person. So I feel like it's a good reference that you should follow along. This will give you a fairly good idea about how some of these projects are structured. So once you're done with the batch projects, then you should move towards real-time project. For this, there is a YouTube playlist by a person called Confluent. You should definitely check it out. It's a very step-by-step process and it's fairly easy to understand. So once you go through this entire playlist, you will have a fairly good grasp on real-time projects. Once you're done with all of these topics, you will be in a pretty solid spot. I would say if you have solid grasp on all of the topics that I have discussed today, this is going to put you in probably top 5 to 10% of data engineers worldwide. Again, as I keep on saying in all of my YouTube videos, please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you need any kind of a guidance or if you have any questions, definitely post it in the comment section. I will try to get you the answer as soon as possible. Hopefully this content was useful. If you like videos like this, please like and subscribe. It's definitely going to help me and the channel a lot. I wish you best of the luck in your learning journey. Thank you so much.